Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now with us over the phone, Dr. Bassam Shammaa, Egyptologist, to shed the light on the latest discoveries in Egypt during the year 2020. Welcome, Dr. Shammaa.
Thank you for having me.
I have the pleasure to have you with us, sir. Well, could you shed light on the latest discoveries in Egypt during the year 2020, and especially the discovery of the mummies, the coffins, wooden coffins in Saqqara district in Cairo, in Giza?
Well, 2020, I mean, what a year. What a year for Egyptology, and what a year for the Egyptians, what a year for the world to learn more about those excavations that took place in Egypt. Places like El Minya, places like Saqqara in Giza, places like Asasif in the West Bank of Luxor.
Yes.
All those places, their names made headlines all over the world due to the interest of the people in our Egyptian culture, and as well the number of coffins and sarcophagi which were excavated, especially lately in the last three announcements of the Minister of Antiquities in Saqqara. First one was 20-something, 20-plus sarcophagi, then 50-plus sarcophagi, then 100 and something sarcophagi. That was in Saqqara. Before them, there was the excavation of the cache of Asasif. Asasif, to those who don't know Asasif, let me make it clearer to you. This is a place, it's a cemetery which is not far away from the temple of Hatshepsut, the terrace temple, the well-known terrace temple of Hatshepsut in the West Bank of Luxor.
Yes.
So Tun al-Jabal, famous in El Minya, famous for lots of things like tombs, like underground corridors, mummified baboons, mummified ibis birds, all sorts of sarcophagi, honeycomb tombs, and that is the 2020 thing. It was the year, it seems, to the Egyptologists working on the Egyptian Sahara and Egyptian desert. It was the year of the deep shafts leading to burial chambers. Now, the interesting thing about that is we understood the difference. I personally, after 40 years of reading in history, I understood the difference between what is a cache and what is a well tomb. The difference between a well as like in the water well, or like a shaft. The ones that you know about in Saqqara and also, that we can call it the well shaft tombs. Cache.
Yes.
What's the difference? Easily? Very simply. The cache is when it was not safe in the cemetery. The ancient Egyptians thought that to gather the sarcophagi from the tombs and put them all in one place so that it can be easily kind of restricted, the entrance and the exits, and it will be easily protected.
Yes.
And guarded by the ancient Egyptians. The deep well in Saqqara is you went to the high priest of the cemetery of Giza in Saqqara and told them, well, my grandpa, grandpa died, and I made a nice sarcophagi, or would you like to make me a nice sarcophagi? Now, this is, of course, the sarcophagi being the plural of sarcophagus. Now, the interesting thing about this is that, and what they are talking about now, people like the world-renowned Egyptologist now, Dr. Mustafa Waziri, and I think he is now probably enjoying what I would like to call the top of his class in the world. For years, we were talking about people and names from the West and the East and the North and the South and so on. But now we are very proud to introduce to the world a new generation. That is, to me, that is one of the huge resolutions of 2020. We as in Egypt, introduce to the world a new generation of young historians and Egyptologists who are not only capable of going 15, 20 meters under the ground level and excavate all sorts of antiquities, but also there is a very big number now of Egyptian ladies, young ladies, and young men and gentlemen who are working in the preservation of such excavations, in the restoration of the items, including, of course, the most amazing restoration organization, which is related to the Grand Museum near Remaya Square. We have now a huge, it's been working actually for years. It's a huge kind of organization for restoration, and we are now introducing stars in restoration, believe it or not. We have a young gentleman who the best well-known channel in the world for culture and Egyptology made a documentary about him because he was using the top-notch high technology in 2020 machine in the form of a camera that can give us more information, and it gave us more information that we did not know about, for example, the coffin of King Tutankhamun. And that was an amazing kind of surprise to the world, to the point that they made a documentary about him, and now the documentary is all over the place. So 2020 to me is not only excavations, but it is also a year that the world learned new names. It is the year that we saw and we watched with pride a prime minister going meters and meters under the ground level, holding a rope and checking an excavation that took place under the ground. A scene that I personally, since I started reading in history in 1979, I didn't see. So we saw it in 2020. So yes, it is a kind of a unique year dealing with Egyptian history and Egyptology.
Yes. So, Dr. Shamma, now Egypt was keen to establish a number of museums around Egypt in several governorates. Recently was inaugurated in several governorates. Among them was the Museum of Sharm el-Sheikh and other examples, and also in Kafr el-Sheikh. How do you see this?
Oh, I mean, well mentioned. I mean, first of all, where in the world you can find a country that opens more than one museum a day? I mean, in one day, we opened, I think it was 3 museums in one day. And also, we are talking about the Sohag Museum. We are talking about, as you mentioned, Sharm el-Sheikh. We mentioned Hurghada. We mentioned all sorts of museums in the Delta, like Kafr el-Sheikh, as you mentioned. So places like that needed museums. As a matter of fact, all cities in Egypt needed museum and needs museum. And I think that's a huge move towards our dream of having a museum in every place in Egypt, because Egypt deserves that. But interestingly enough, some years ago, and I'm still doing this, I'm introducing the idea of, and this is my hope. I guess there will be a question about my hopes in 2021. So
yes, please. Yes, please, Dr. Shamma.
I'll probably answer it before it is asked.
Yes, please. We'd like
I'm sorry for that, but my hope about that is the One Piece Museum. And here on Nile TV International, I would like to convey this message to our very active Dr. Anani and very active Dr. Waziri and very active everybody in Egypt. The One Piece Museum is going to be a revelation. I talked about it to an Egyptologist, and I was telling him about this idea of if each and every place in our country, from a small village, from an oasis, from a deserty place, anywhere that you excavate something in it, build a one-piece museum and put this place on the map of tourism. So when tourism is back, inshallah, God willing, after inshallah Corona is gone, then it is not only going to be the Luxor Aswan cruise. It's not going to be only the Cairo and the famous cities.
Yes.
It will be every single village. There will be people interested in it. There will be students interested in studying. One good example of that is a wooden stela over 2 meters high in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, in Tahrir.
Yes.
And if we brought it back to Qom al-Hisn in Buhaira, there will be a very interesting spot for the world to visit in Buhaira to check that unique piece. And by this, the One Piece Museum is not going to be expensive. It's not going to be costly for our ministry to build, and its security will be easier. And by this, it will put the village on the touristic map as well.
Yes, yes. Dr. Shamma, we'd like that you give us a word concerning the inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum that we are waiting for.
I mean, the Grand Egyptian Museum speaks for itself. I mean, this is going to be probably the greatest cultural event in the world. I mean, without exaggeration. So all the preparations that we are reading about is well done, and it well deserved as well. The interesting thing about how everything is going to be taken care of, the fine details that we are, business of putting the hieroglyphs on the facade, because we are well known of our hieroglyphs around the world. Every single move you make in this museum is going to be studied and is going to be renowned all over the world. And I think the opening ceremony and the story that we heard about, that there will be an opera as well. And the world is out, and the word is out that this opera is going to kind of overtake the opera Aida and overcome it in its show and its grandeur and all of this. So the only thing I hope is that the opera will convey the true story. You know what I mean? It is like when you put drama in history, sometimes it changes things. So I hope, I'm awaiting this, because I will praise it so much if it will convey the true story. Not like other dramas which can, you know, touch a little bit here, a little bit there. Opera Aida itself introduced stories which kind of, you know, it's not in the text in ancient Egypt. We have an ancient Egyptian history that is full of excitement, it's full of interest, and the world, once you mention Egypt, everybody gets excited. We saw that in the eyes of tourists. I saw that in the eyes of the people who attended my lectures abroad and in Egypt. So you do not have to make that huge effort to remind people of Egypt, but we do have to remind the people all the time by what's new that Egypt is introducing.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time and for your valuable information. Dr. Bassam Shamma, Egyptologist, thank you very much for joining us today. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. I'm Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.